Have you seen it, Pat?
I have not seen it, but
all right, you're alone there, buddy.
Yeah,
sorry.
I think it brings up the point. You know, sometimes a 5-minute sketch can't go, 2 hours.
Which then leads us into Stuart Smalley.
Yeah, that
which is a shame because it has more of a higher pedigree, having Harold Ramis direct it and partially write it. And you have Vincent D'Onofrio co-starring in the film. You have Harris Yulin playing the father, even though he's not.
The sad thing about that is that Al Franken, now currently in government,
legendary,
right? The original, and it was like him and Franken and Davis were the team, and they had like their own 2 cents they would do as a skit on Saturday Night Live in the early '70s. He kind of like fell off the map performing for Saturday Night Live, but he continued writing for them. I think there was a period where he left and he came back and started writing for them. And somehow he struck gold with this Stuart Smalley character.
Yes,
which he started to play.
Character.
And it is an amusing conceit. It works in like whatever 30-second, 40-second pieces that he would do. But not for an entire movie. There's really no movie around that. And the problem with Stuart Smalley Saves the World is it's not funny, and it's really boring.
Well, it seems like it tries to stay on the comedic side, but it desperately wants to be a dysfunctional family drama. And it just is a weird fit for a film.
It's weird because
it's like an
you're right.
Character.
There's this weird thing where they I guess like that's Franken's influence, because Franken strikes me as a very smart guy. He's a very talented guy, which is why it breaks my heart. He's incredibly funny.
Well, I found it very interesting that after the movie came out and bombed, he performed the character on Saturday Night Live and basically yelled at the audience for not going to see the movie. And then we more get into the next generation of SNL, more the Will Ferrell years, Molly Shannon, because we come up with an interesting film called Superstar, based on the Mary Catherine Gallagher character starred by Molly Shannon, a Catholic schoolgirl who dreams of being a star.
Now, all of this could be attributed to the success of Wayne's World.
Yes.
Right? So when I felt, okay, well, that was successful. Let's successfully translate its character from TV to screen. Let's do it with all these other guys. And it just, again, it felt like Lorne Michaels was like throwing dartboards at a dartboard and hoping he'd have a bullseye. Can you make a full-length character after the Catherine Mary whatever freaker's name? And I don't, that's the thing about that character. I don't even remember her name. It's not like she's such an iconic character created for Saturday Night Live. I'm willing to bet you a majority of people don't even remember that character's name. All they remember is when I get nervous, I tend to do this and this, And
Superstar.
And Superstar. And again, a one-joke character.
Yes, but this one was kind of a minor hit, more than any of the other than, of course, the great ones we talked about. This is probably the one successful one he finally found kind of a success.
It was a hit.
Yes. Not a great hit, but it was a hit.
I tried to watch it on Netflix, and like an hour into it, I turned it off because it's just too awkward. It's not really...
I liked it. It was cutesy. It's not going to make my best of list. It's one of those films. Goes in your ear and out the other by the time it's done. A Night at the Roxbury with Chris Kattan and Will Ferrell. Which, I enjoyed the Richard Grieco cameo.
Yeah, it's the most... I don't know.
It has its moments.
I won't say it's the most forgettable, but it is a very forgettable movie. It's just a very forgettable movie.
It's a movie, well, it's forgettable for you, but it's a film that I can constantly quote, unfortunately.
All right, give me a quote.
Emilio!
No, give me something that's like iconic.
Are you touching my ass?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's just like the sketch itself. It's just one joke.
Then you're going to really love the next film I bring up. Ladies Man with Tim Meadows, who seemed to have gotten this film because as like a prize for surviving 10 years on Saturday Night Live under Lorne Michaels' direction. So he kind of said, okay, why not? It's a successful character.
It only has two really funny moments. The one where he's interviewing the church lady. Have you ever been down to the
church lady.
And Will Ferrell's pretty entertaining in it, playing the Olympic gold medalist wrestler who wants to oil himself
and wrestle other guys all the time. Again, Will Ferrell's in this one too.
So he steals the show pretty much. I guess I anticipate it to be a lot better than...
Yeah, because the character's likable, but...
Yeah, the sketches were funny, but the movie itself, to drag that out for 90 minutes, it's tough.
See my expression, people? I'm starting to reach that phase when I'm depressed that we haven't talked about a good film in a while within this discussion.
Has its fans.
And you can see, like I'm starting. What happens is I start to get tired. I get tired from depression, and my brain slowly starts to shut off, and I start mispronouncing things and getting facts wrong. So now we're going to talk about MacGruber. I know this film has fans.
Yes, I'm not one of them, but it has its moments. I like Will Forte. I'm sorry. I think he's funny.
I think it's awful. I think it's terrible. I think it's not funny at all.
It's a waste of money.
It doesn't even look like it costs that much.
And the character, the strength of the character in its, it's like 2-minute skits, whatever. Yes, he was supposed to be MacGyver and blah blah blah. But then they take the movie as trying to make fun of like Bruckheimer-esque big action films, which takes MacGyver out of his element, the whole MacGyver concept out of his element a little bit, and it starts to okay, you're making fun of the wrong things. But it's not funny. It's so not funny. There wasn't one time that I laughed during this film.
You didn't like not even the ghost sex scene?
I kind of smiled when Val Kilmer opened up his mouth for the first time. Outside of that, I just found the whole thing. It was like, what? And the joke's in my mind, funny. You can be as weird if you can do the weird humor thing, right? Okay. Where it's like, okay, this is weird, but it's so weird in left field, it's kind of funny. But even when you do that, it has to be based in some sort of logic. It has to kind of make sense within the context.
So did you feel this film was more going for shocks?
I think that it was just let's throw let's throw shit on a wall because it's funny. Not because it makes sense.
I'm not a fan of the film. I like it for what it is. I mean, I'm not going to watch it again, and I'm not going to defend it. But, I mean, to me, it's a good time waster.
After Wayne's World 2, it truly went downhill for Saturday Night Live films.
Well, I was going to say, as Saturday Night Live films. I mean, the talent, obviously, they all came out with their own successful films away from Saturday Night Live. Some of which, Lorne Michaels produced, some of which, they went off on their own. Obviously Will Ferrell with the Anchorman series. Adam Sandler, earlier in his career, had more of a successful career with characters you could see actually coming off of Saturday Night Live, but they were more his own, individual creations. Kristen Wiig now is starting to become a star with her own writing and characters. I mean,
why would something like Wayne's World and Blues Brothers work as movies?
I think because...
But not the others.
Because it seems to me at least as far as Wayne's World, these characters had a life outside of the skit that they could be funny in. They created their own world around the characters that was also funny.
Do you think also the big differences between the later films, and I don't know what the thought process was, so I can only imagine. Blues Brothers, it's not like someone said, hey, let's do a spin-off. It's not like, there's money in doing a spin-off property based on the character of Saturday Night Live. This was a project that was probably, pitched by Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi.
It's something they just really wanted to do.
Right. They got John Landis to direct it, and they came up with this film. Wayne's World might have been a similar thing.
I think, too, the other thing is you had talented people behind the scenes on Blues Brothers and Wayne's World. Especially with Blues Brothers, I heard that Aykroyd and Belushi's script was a 3-hour movie, and Landis had to scale it back because they had no writing experience up until that point. I think the later films, you just had TV directors handling them, and they really had no clue how to take a sketch that's 5 minutes long and try to expand on that sketch for a 90-minute film.
Right, and they felt rushed out.
Right.
It was let's cash in on this while they're still in the public's mind as characters. So I think we're done, right?
Yes, this is the saddest.
This turned out to be a very depressing episode.
Sorry I brought this
Great
subject
topic idea, Jeff.
I thought there would be more peaks in
You
less valleys.
suck, man.
Get more complaints on the Prince episode.
Yeah.
Is that possible? Yes, somebody will complain. Why? That's not rational.
You should be covering Herzog.
Yeah.
Yes, we should be.
We should be covering Herzog. We should just do we should do like a Klaus Kinski show.
Yes, Klaus Kinski.
So I do that. And we should do it as Klaus Kinski. We should have been doing this as Klaus Kinski. I am Saturday Night Live! I am Jesus Christ!
I am better than Kilma!
Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Jeff.
Sorry I brung this up.
Andre's blog, please tell us what it's all about.
Yes. You can follow me on Coast Blog as the Mother Brain, and you can follow me on Twitter at MotherBrain830.
Excellent. We have also got CineFiles TV, blogspot.com. Check out all of Jeff's reviews on there. Check out our parent site, thisisinfamous.com. There's a lot of great content being contributed there. Check us out on Facebook, both our group and our page, and our Twitter accounts, which we've already flashed on the screen. I am done. I'm exhausted. I can't talk anymore. This episode depressed me that much. Good night!
This is the most depressing episode ever. It's like...
Yeah.